With Brock Lesnar also angry with Shane McMahon over the Royal Rumble and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for February 6th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With Kurt Angle recently claiming that he had been in talks with WWE about an in-ring return en route to WrestleMania, he is now taking to his podcast to say this will not be happening. I went to the Royal Rumble. WWE wanted me to do a short program that they ended up canceling at the very last moment. But we went to the Rumble, my wife and I. I also did some documentary interviews the day before, a photo op with the fans, but I want to make it clear I am in no way signed to WWE. They were going to sign me anyway. It was going to be a 3-week program. It got canceled, but you know, my obligation is to do the show, the Kurt Angle show, and that's it. Later, Ringside News would report that there was never an official plan for Angle to come back. Kurt Angle said that a 3-week WrestleMania angle was nixed for him, but we're told that it's not really the case. There was a pitch, but Vince McMahon never signed off on it. It was never actually booked. Angle was brought in for the Rumble only to do interviews for WWE docs. Ronda Rousey returned to WWE in grand fashion, entering and winning the Women's Royal Rumble. She would subsequently appear on Raw and SmackDown last week as Mark Henry would criticize the company's booking of Rousey on Busted Open Radio. You know, I know the answer to this, but I thought there was a legitimate brand split. I thought that people on Monday do Monday things and people on Friday do Friday things. I can honestly say that I am genuinely tired of it. Listen, if y'all going to mash them, just mash them. Make one set of titles for the company. If one brand does not have the title on it, have the number one contender on the other brand. The pay-per-views can be challenges. It's ridiculous, man. If you're going to do it, or don't. I was in defense of it all these years, but I can't do that anymore. I feel like my intelligence is being insulted. Keep people where they belong. Also on Busted Open Radio, Mark Henry would touch on Goldberg returning to WWE TV as he blasted the company for pushing the WCW legend. I love Bill Goldberg as a person, and as a man, and as a father, and he's built up equity in himself as a talent. That never goes away, but sometimes it is simply better used when you are trying to enhance. Bring light to a situation and let somebody else be the mentor. There is power in giving. They're putting Bill in a spot where he is taking, and it is not like he earned the number one contendership. If we saw him 3 weeks prior knocking off Kevin Owens, knocking off a Drew McIntyre, and then him saying, okay Roman, I've knocked off the top guys in your company, it's time me and you square up for that title. It's like, let's just throw Bill in there. When you push it down people's throats like that, obviously won't accept it. They rebel. It is not Bill's fault that the people in Jeddah want to see him. I would do it, but I would prepare everybody for it. Now it looks like Goldberg will be facing off against Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia for the Universal title. While many fans love Matt Riddle's current tag team with Randy Orton, those familiar with Riddle's run on NXT will remember a similar tandem he had with Pete Dunne. Talking about this with Mark Andrews, Riddle revealed that the team with Dunne was supposed to be a one-off. Yeah, we weren't supposed to. I didn't even know I was teaming with Pete until they do, hey, Matt, can you cut a promo saying how you and Pete met and became a team? And I was like, we're a team? And they're like, yeah. And I made up some story where I was like, yeah. And I bring it up to Pete, and I was like, Pete, you're a bruiserweight, I'm a bro. Dusty Cup, let's do this. We wrestled. I don't even know if we were supposed to beat you guys, subculture. And then they're like, yeah, you're actually going to win this round and lose the next round. And we're like, okay. Then the next round, they're like, yeah, you're actually going to win this round too and go into the finals. And we're like, all right. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. And Pete's like, I'll do it. And then like when we won it, I was pretty shocked. But then I was like, okay guys, like what are we doing here? I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. Did not see that coming. Didn't see it coming. With it looking like Shinsuke Nakamura will defend his Intercontinental title against Sami Zayn, Dutch Mantel went on SmackDown to talk about Nakamura's booking, with him criticizing the company for making fans not care about the IC title. I genuinely do not believe anybody cares, to tell you the truth about that championship. I do not think a single person cares about Rick Boogs, or whatever his name is, and Nakamura. I don't think nobody cares now. They just let them languish. They're not doing anything with them. On their podcast, Nikki and Brie Bella recalled their appearance during the Women's Royal Rumble, where Ronda Rousey would be the eventual winner of that match. Nikki would then point out what separates Rousey from other WWE superstars. Her strength is unreal. That Evolution match, I never felt that kind of strength in a woman before. We've been getting slammed by women for 15 years. When I fought Ronda, I was like, this is a whole other level of strength. It's like a flawless strength. It's hard to describe. On SmackDown, the match was made official, as Ronda Rousey will challenge Charlotte Flair at Mania for the SmackDown Women's title. On that same podcast, Brie Bella talked about potentially returning to WWE following her Royal Rumble appearance. I'll say, after I got Nikki out, which was really fun, I didn't know if I'd ever get my moment again with this, because I never know when I'm gonna get the call to come back, and it could never be. It was just too perfect, Nikki. It was too perfect. I'm sorry. CM Punk is no stranger to dealing with trolls on the internet, with him saying on Abe Canna of Rock 95.5 in Chicago that wrestlers should stop trying to win against trolls. You can't win. I implore all humans to understand that you cannot win. You cannot be beholden to what nameless, faceless people on the internet say about you. It doesn't matter. You have to find inner peace and be happy with what you're doing. I 100% am that guy. I'm stoked to be where I am. I got a lot of cool projects coming up aside from AEW, and I get to go home to a very beautiful, smart, talented woman and my dog Larry every night, so it can't be beat. Like Johnny256969 on Twitter, trust me, you could say whatever you want about me, dude. I sucked in UFC, that's cool. I get that video game money, so I am okay. Given he came up short against MJF on Dynamite recently, it remains to be seen what is next for Punk. During an episode of Monday Night Raw from June 10th of 2002, Brock Lesnar was supposed to face Stone Cold Steve Austin in a King of the Ring qualifying match. Austin did not want to lose a match of this magnitude that was not on pay-per-view, so he turned it down and left the arena. Now, he mentioned this during a rapid-fire Q&A for WWE, revealing that he regrets not taking that match. I disagreed with it. I never like to blow smoke up my ass, but guys like myself, like Hogan and a few others, they don't grow on trees. So you want to sacrifice what you've built up in me, and with no build-up? But that walkout was still total stupidity and hard-headedness on my part. I should have shown up, and that is my biggest regret in the business of pro wrestling. Given all the heat Shane McMahon got prior to his release from the company, it comes as no surprise that Brock Lesnar was not happy with Shane's behavior at the Rumble, as Fightful reported that. We're told that when Vince McMahon learned of Shane McMahon's plans, he wasn't happy about them, and neither was Brock Lesnar. Shane was insistent on seeing them through, which didn't end up happening. Speaking on The Extreme Life, Matt Hardy said that his brother Jeff has been stress-free since being let go by WWE. One thing I can say for Jeff is that he has been super positive and super stressless since he's been gone from WWE. We have about 10 bookings as the Hardy Boys lined up all together. Some autograph signings, some matches. I want him to be in the best place, and I want his reputation to be good. I want people out there to know he's okay. The Hardy Boys are set to reunite in March for a pro wrestling show, as Matt recently hinted at becoming more extreme in AEW. On Busted Open Radio, Mark Henry also touched on the lasting effects that have taken a toll on him from pro wrestling. I'm permanently damaged. I sit here today a broken human being from being a pro wrestler. I'm not crying. I'm not having a pity party. I know what wrestling did to my body. There's no NFL CT lawsuit that I'm gonna put towards wrestling. Even though if I had brain damage, the way that pro wrestling is designed, you would have had to look out for yourself and not rely on them. The business, the corporation that you work for to look out for you. That's why you say, look, I need full insurance to do this. Negotiate it in your contract. It's about what you negotiate, and all wrestlers say you need a union. You need this. No, you need to have some balls. During his time in WWE, James Ellsworth made quite the name for himself, with him picking up 3 wins against AJ Styles. This was when AJ held the WWE title, as Vince McMahon apparently considered putting the belt on Ellsworth. James talked about this on the Cheap Heat podcast, saying, "People would come up to me like, hey man, in the meetings they're talking about you winning the title." I'm like, yeah, okay, people did say it to me. Vince McMahon himself never said it to me, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. I'm a realist. They're not going to put the title on me, and they shouldn't. While he was able to reach the pinnacle of pro wrestling and become WWE champion, Big E would unceremoniously lose his title to Brock Lesnar at the Day 1 pay-per-view, as it looks like he won't be returning to championship glory. Wade Keller of PW Torch reported that, "I've asked around and all I've gotten is people who are really upset, with the rug being pulled out from under him. And I haven't heard anything about there being an awareness of an issue with him, and I think the people I have asked would know. But I mean, one person just described him as a magnificent human being who doesn't deserve this treatment." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.